Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to the Bundesliga show. Just jumping on here myself very quickly, trying something new, doing a match reaction video. It's been something been planning on doing for quite a while, and as it happens, I'm doing it on the cusp of a massive defeat for VfB Stuttgart in the UEFA Champions League against Red Star Belgrade. Really, really disappointing performance from the lads. That one really stung, really, really hurt. The way that the match went overall. So I've kind of just done this fairly last minute. So not anticipating loads of people may be able to join us for this one, but obviously we have a great, I've got a great deal of VfB friends and, fans that, support the club across the different social media platforms. So if you are hurt and you're feeling it, jump on, have a moan with me now and see how this goes. Not going to be a massively long video, just a bit of a thing that I thought we'd try out basically. So what we're going to do is just kind of go into the game itself a little bit, then maybe do some match ratings. That should be interesting. Just towards the end of it, basically. So need to get stuck into it straight away. Obviously, before all the 8 o'clock games kick off, and obviously want to watch all those as well. So just be a very quick reaction video. So this match, is an important one for the lads to, push themselves up in the Champions League standings. I think with the win could have pushed Stuttgart up to around about 16th place, which is would have been relatively safe in that kind of qualification playoff spot. Lots of pre-match kind of premonitions about it, lots of confidence amongst the VfB community, despite the fact that Stuttgart were going into this undercooked from a striking offering. It was quite clear that Demirovic was going to get the nod with Fuick and Mio playing further up, but still no Undav, still no labelling, no Bilal Toure, no Voltemada or Justin Deal available because they weren't registered at the start of the season. So that's an interesting one to kind of think about as well. Cycling back to the start of the match and what a great way to start. Getting kicked off early on for a goal for Demirovic. A lot of people thought he might turn up in this game, and it looked like he did after some okay play down the wing. A poor clearance leads to Mio being able to nod it in Demirovic's direction, and obviously he does the rest. Good finish on the half volley. Puts Stuttgart in control of the match straight away, and unfortunately that's pretty much as good as it got for the lads. Didn't really use that use the momentum from going 1-0 up so early on. You could tell that the crowd was silenced very easily by it, and unfortunately there was news prior to the match starting about the Stuttgart ultras, a lot of them not being able to get to the game because of some nasty goings on and clashes in Belgrade. So obviously, firstly and foremost, really hope that anyone who was able to get to the game got there, enjoyed the game, but also, gets home safely as well. Really disappointing to see that, not all the community and the ultras were able to get to the match. Mark's obviously jumping on, saying, not good enough from VfB. Completely agree. And after the 1-0 scoreline, that's just where it started to go very quickly downhill. And of course, the equaliser has to come through that man. Silas, big fan of his, was a bit gutted when he left the club. Obviously, he still belongs to VfB Stuttgart on loan. And that's a strange thing that we're not really used to, from an English football perspective, is though, Bundesliga clubs often let on loan players play against them. It happened famously last season when Josip Stanisic scored for Leverkusen against Bayern. And yeah, it's obviously just something that they do. But yeah, came back to bite us in the ass massively because, sloppy in midfield again. And it's something that I was putting on social media a lot during the match. Just wasn't impressed with the general all-round play. The passing was just so off it, so inaccurate, and it's something I'm used to being a Man United fan. Frankly, it's just something that you kind of absorb. But in the last 18 months, Stuttgart have just been so good on the ball, so technically, well drilled, and there were still loads of passes, and you can look at match facts all you want, but yeah, so many misplaced passes, so sloppy. And that gave, Red Star the initiative to come back into it. Silas then gets the ball from, a bit of sloppy play, advances and advances and advances. You imagine Jeff Chabot was going to, come out and maybe deal with something that was going on, something rather alarming. But Chabot was basically in the goal by the time Silas, finished himself. Good finish from the winger / forward, and Newbell doesn't really have a chance for the 1-1. After that, a bit of shell shock, I guess, to that. Stuttgart still, after that, didn't really get much of the ball at all. Well, and it was a good period for Red Star, really, during the match. Then, obviously, the next and latest calamity would come. However, it did come after a very tight-looking offside goal being disallowed from Demirovic. One of the few times that Stuttgart actually got the ball and just played quickly, played through the lines. I think it was Mio who played the pass in. Demirovic finished really nicely. And my God, did the offside line look really, really close on first viewing. But the semi-automated VAR system did the job and seemingly did it right to make it, to not count the goal. So it stayed at 1-1. But then just a few minutes later, Krunic managed to get on the end of a cross. I was about to say a good cross, but it wasn't a good cross at all. It was just a hopeful ball played in by their winger after Stenzel doesn't do enough on the wing. The ball comes in quite easily. And I think it's Ruo who misses the first attempt. Then it goes under the foot of Atakan Karatzor. And you're just thinking, what on earth is going on? Krunic controls the ball and puts it into the top bins for 2-1. And that really was shell shock. Really couldn't believe how easily that goal went in. But it was a precursor for the rest of the match in the second half. Was absolutely no different. Stuttgart got an element of control back, towards the end of the first half without massively looking dangerous. Same was, moving on to the second half, and it was the same sort of story, really. Hoeneß decided to try and change things up, which a lot of people were calling for at halftime. Bringing on Fabian Rieder, who was one, person who probably was unlucky not to start, but not that he did anything when he came on anyhow. That change was probably the right idea, but it just didn't work. Stuttgart was so advanced, so attacking from the first minute, which, I super admire about my boys and the way that they approach the game. But, the chances from the second half were all for Red Star. They were breaking at pace. Silas was causing all sorts of trouble, along with the other winger as well. But eventually, the substitute, who'd just been on the pitch for a matter of minutes, managed to make it 3-1. Breaking on Stuttgart just relentlessly. Then another substitution for Red Star, Radonic, manages to finish off another counter-attacking move. Stuttgart's being split open. sorry, I'm getting myself wrong here because the third goal was obviously the corner, wasn't it? Where Chabot again, just I don't know what he's doing. Why is he not just marking the man and just does this weird fake jump to make it 3-1? And then the breakaway goal for Radonic, and he gets the fifth late on. Unfortunately, some great play by him in the box, very cool and composed to finish into the bottom corner. It just didn't stick for VfB tonight, and it's such a shame. Just overall, obviously, if you look at the stats, like I say, the XG is not too different. The ball possession is 71% in favour of Stuttgart. The goal attempts similar enough, but more shots on target for Red Star. But it was just a flat performance, and it's really concerning, probably, as a VfB fan, overall, just to see this. So, yeah, concerning. Obviously, as VfB fans, I'm just doing this as a bit of a side hustle just to see how well it goes down. And if we want to do this a little bit more often, why not? But yeah, VfB fans, let me know what are your thoughts on the game. How frustrated are you? Is it just too many matches stacking up? Do the boys just look on, out on their feet? They just can't react to stuff. Got concerns about pretty much every position across the team right now, and the way that and the kind of performance levels. And it's such a shame that there's been such a big drop off. So far this season. But yeah, I mean, don't want to go super negative because this is my first match reaction that I've done. What a night to pick it and do it on. But yeah, it's just a little bit of fun after all. But yeah, as a community, especially for you VfB fans, and even if you're neutral, do let us know what you thought about VfB. Where did it go wrong tonight? And can VfB save themselves now with at least 2 out of the 3 games looking presentable still? Obviously, PSG at home, you never know if Sebastian and the boys can lift their levels and use the home fans to kind of pull out a result. That's the last game, so they'll know what they need to do ultimately in that one. If we're going for match ratings, this is all kind of put this together relatively last minute. So unfortunately, I don't have any lovely banners or anything official to put things down as. But if we're scoring things out of 10, I'll just try and run through the starting 11 quite quickly. So let me just pull that up. Let's have a look. So Nubel, I mean, he can't do an awful lot about many of the goals, but obviously to concede 5, you're probably looking at 4 out of 10, or maybe 5. He did okay on a few moments and made a few saves, so it probably could have been worse. I'm using Flash Score just to get my lineups up here, and I'm amazed at some of these marks out of 10. I really am. But yeah, Stenzel brought off at half time. Pretty poor from him. Looked a little bit out of his depth, so probably a 5. Ruo, yellow carded in the match. Not amazing. Probably a 5 as well. If you're playing in this back four, it's not going to look pretty. Jeff Chabot, worst performance I've seen from him in a VfB shirt. He's been hit and miss. I know people have got different thoughts and feelings about him. I think he was a 4 out of 10 maximum, maybe 3. So let me know what your thoughts on him. Maxi Mittelstadt connected well enough with Fuig, but that partnership clearly just is still missing something. His balls into the box are pretty average, so probably a standard 5 for me. The midfield duo, Karat, Saur and Stiller, this is one area I've got great concerns with because I think their levels are massively dropped. So for Atakan, not as poor as Chabot, but one of the poorer players on the pitch for me tonight, 4.5. Stiller, Angelo, maybe a 5. Didn't really get hold of the ball too much. For me, Fuig had moments in the match, but he got found out when he was cutting inside, couldn't get around his man, had a few chances here and there. but not ultimately any end product. So I'd probably say a 5.5 for me. Wagnerman on the other side looked uncomfortable at times, that far forward. I know he's done it quite a lot before for Hoeneß and co, but I'd probably pin him at a 5.5 for me. Mio couldn't get in the game. We couldn't get the ball to him when we could. He looked dangerous. He could, moving through the pitch well with the ball, but ultimately also maybe maybe a 6 pushing it, and Demirovic up front. Industrious, worked as hard as he always does, took his goal well, and maybe that squeezes him up to a 6 out of 10 for me. But otherwise, his touch was letting him down a lot. He couldn't, and that was really stifling Stuttgart to keep on recycling the ball and try and keep it a bit more. So disappointing all round. Reeder obviously had a whole half. He was okay in parts, but and I probably would have started him, to be honest, and let Wagnerman stay further back ultimately. But it's not like he did 45 minutes of work to make you think he was amazing at all. So there we are. An indictment, unfortunately, on VfB Stuttgart, but I'm sure there's plenty to come. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on them, on the results, and let me know if you'd like to see many more of these. Mark can join me at other times as well, and maybe we'll just do this with Champions League as a bit of a point of difference, and we can do it for other teams as well if you guys enjoy. But do make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow us on all socials, and enjoy the rest of the footy. I'll catch you tomorrow for some Bundesliga match week 12 predictions as well. Cheers all.